Hey everybody. All right, so I understand that the templates and exemplars have been removed for the Journal 2 assignment due this Sunday. So here is a fairly quick video. I just created a template and an exemplar for you to use. And so I thought I would explain this in the video. So here is the template. And so basically on the left side, you can see I've used the exact same wording from the assignment. And so all you kind of need to do is fill in the blanks over here. So the first thing you want to do is list your credible and relevant resources. Remember, you're supposed to be using the Shapiro library, so you should not have any articles or essays that you're using that come from a .com source. All of your sources should be .edus, .orgs, possibly .gov, any of those, okay? But so the first thing you're going to do is just list the title and the author, and then you're using either MLA or APA formatting, and I've gone and listed all of the information you need. Use the same exact punctuation marks that you see in each spot, and you'll be just fine. And then you go into the article evaluation, and there are 3 sections for that in the assignment. I broke them down into 3 separate boxes. So for the first one, you talk about your first article. You know, how does it support your topic? How's it going to help answer your research question? And then you do the same thing for the second article. And then you talk about the credibility of both sources. You can talk about them together. You can talk about them separately. Maybe you have one article that you think is stronger than the other article. So you would say my first article is stronger than the other article, my second article because, and give the reasons why. And then my second article is less credible because, and give the reasons why. And then talk about how your audience is going to feel about the credibility of your articles, okay? I've given you some sentence starters. You don't have to use those. This is just, again, to help get you going. And then the last thing you're going to discuss is the bias found in the articles. And so, I mean, you talk about whether or not the article has bias. So my article displays bias through and then give an explanation, or it shows a lack of bias because, and again, it's either or, you're not using both. And same thing down here. How's your audience going to react if there is bias or if there is not bias? And just make sure you're addressing both parts. So I did make an exemplar to show you. So an exemplar is just a filled in version of this. Now, of course, I used a hypothetical scenario so that I'm not giving away the secret sauce, so to speak, on any of the topics that you have chosen. So here is the completed exemplar, and I'm going with cats make, my research question would be, are cats better pets than dogs? And I'm a cat person, so obviously I'm going to go with yes. So here are my 2 credible sources that I've listed. I've listed the author's names and the title of the article. Don't need any more information there. And then here I've given an MLA citation and an APA citation. The one thing to keep in mind is, because this is in this little box, I'm not using a hanging indent. And both APA and MLA formatting always use a hanging indent, which is the opposite of a regular paragraph indent. If you need help with this, just send me an email and let me know. And let me know what platform you use for writing your essays, Word, Google Docs, Pages, anything else. And I'll send you either a video or a link to show you how to make the hanging indent, okay? And so then here are my article evaluations. My first article, The Truth About Cats and Dogs, supports my topic by showing the many ways cats are easier to maintain as a pet. It will help answer my research question by showing that cats require less time and energy to have in the home. And again, I'm addressing both of these items from the directions, okay? And discuss why you trust the credibility. And I've given you samples for both. My articles are credible because both Smith and Galaxy are recognized experts in cat behavior and health, or my articles are not credible but will still be used because the authors are accepted experts in the field. And so you can see I'm giving my reasons why. And you might have 2 separate things. You might say my first article is really credible because it's written by someone who has a PhD in the field and has worked extensively in the areas of stress and work and how the 2 are tied together. But my second article is less credible because while the author does have a degree in physical and mental health, they have a bachelor's degree, they don't have any advanced degrees, and they have not done research into the fields. So you may have 2 different statements to make about your articles. That's totally fine. And then talk about how's the audience going to view the credibility of your articles, okay? And so you can see, again, I'm just giving you some generic answers just for both sides, just in case. And then you're going to talk about the bias, how much or the lack of. And you can see here, and since I'm sending these to you, I'm not going to keep reading to you. But make sure you address your articles. If both of them seem to be pretty objective and just present the information, great. Most of the time, though, there is some degree of bias. So keep an eye out for that and be completely honest about it. It's okay if there's bias, but make sure you address that, all right? And then also talk about how the audience is going to respond to that bias or to the lack of bias that might not be present. All right. Hopefully this will help you as you get into working on this week's assignment, which is due on Sunday. You can certainly turn in this chart completed. You can turn this in a paragraph form if that's easier for you. And again, I would, if you do turn it in paragraph form, just make sure you're addressing every single one of the points. And I've used the exact same language here that you will find in the assignment. So make sure you're sticking with that, because that's exactly what the rubric uses. And I do grade strictly by that rubric. So, all right, let me know if you have any questions. Have a great Friday. Bye.